In a small town at the southeast corner of Oklahoma, there are dangers that have lurked for decades. We aren't talking about the alligator or bear population. It's the history of secrets buried deep in the red dirt, where the powerful had a way of blatantly twisting the law, while justice or bodies get lost in the pine curtain backroads and outside the reach of accountability. Let's take a trip back to Idabel, Oklahoma, in the winter of 1980. Despite being located in the black part town, the Black Hat Club was known as a whites-only establishment and a magnet for racial conflict. Late on the night of January 19th, 15-year-old Henry Lee Johnson, his younger brother Victor, and a few other black teenagers slipped through a hole in the club's fence and entered the parking lot, like they had done many times before, as a shortcut. They were spotted by Walter DeShazo, a white man from Horatio, Arkansas, who was a member of a prominent family. DeShazo immediately pursued the boys, firing several shots in their direction. The boys ran, scattering into the night. When they regrouped, Henry was missing. The next morning, the search ended in tragedy. Henry Lee Johnson's body was found. The discovery of the boy's body sent shockwaves through the community. Rumors spread like wildfire. There were reports that Henry was severely beaten and lynched, further fueling the outrage. The following night, the simmering tension exploded into full-blown riot, pitting 200 rioters against approximately 150 police officers. By the time the dust settled, 2 more men were dead in the small town. Looked like overseas footage of a war zone. William Mack Jr., a black man, and Reuben Farmer, a white police officer, perished in the riot. The aftermath saw an immediate spike in racial antagonism. The Ku Klux Klan capitalized on the unrest, distributing flyers and recruiting new members in Idabel and Oklahoma City. Governor George Nye was forced to declare martial law, deploying the Oklahoma National Guard to maintain order. The already heightened tensions were further exacerbated by KKK rallies led by Imperial Wizard Bill Wilkinson. 2 days after the murder, Walter DeShazo, the man who started all of this, turned himself in and confessed to the shooting. He was charged with first-degree murder and quickly released on a $25,000 bond. But justice would prove elusive. By September 1980, a district judge downgraded the charge to second-degree murder, claiming there was no proof of malice or premeditation. DeShazo's defense team was led by someone we have previously covered, the Prince of Darkness himself, Oklahoma Senator Gene Stipe. During the trial, conflicting testimonies painted a confusing picture. A young woman who was with DeShazo testified that she heard him yell "stop" before the shots were fired. However, Henry's brother Victor testified that he heard a man yell, "freeze or I'll shoot." Crucially, the jury never heard or saw DeShazo's murder confession, as the judge refused to allow the evidence. Instead, the defense implicated another man who was never charged. Gene Stipe's law firm had a documented history of bribing judges. Media reports summed up that a well-known judge did not want trouble from a crooked sitting state senator with a track record of taking down many elected officials. In January 1981, a local jury acquitted Walter DeShazo of all charges. Despite the documented confession and the clear racial context of the incident, no other person was ever arrested. The murder of 15-year-old Henry Lee Johnson remained officially unsolved. The riots ended, but the deep, unresolved wounds and precedents set from that weekend in Idabel, Oklahoma, have lingered on and led to decades of scandal.
If it was back in the day, when Alan Marshall take a damn black guy, whoop their ass, throw them in the cell, I'd run for fucking sheriff.
This incident should never be forgotten. To forget is to grant permission, and silence allows this rotten cycle to continually repeat itself. What do you think? If you live in this part of the state, let us know the current climate in the area for these behavioral patterns.